Hello friends, Brad Rohr from Funbearable here. Also, as of this episode, a popcorn private. Here to tell you about a live show coming very soon, Sunday, June 1st, at the Comedy Connection in beautiful East Providence, Rhode Island. Narragansett Beer's Funbearable Summer Break, starring me, Chuck Staten, and Ray Harrington. We're not really sure what the show is going to be just yet. About a year ago, we did Funbearable's Winter Funderland. This is going to be a summer-themed show. Perhaps I'll finally get to do my presidential trivia that I've ached to share with the world. But again, Sunday, June 1st, tickets and more information at funbearablepod.com or the link in the description of this video. Hope you can make it out one more time, Sunday, June 1st, at the Comedy Connection in East Providence, Rhode Island, Narragansett Beer's Funbearable Summer Break. Hope you can make it out. We'd love to see you there. We love and appreciate you. Have a great day.
I will say I did a show last night. I did a couple of shows in Boston for Don't Tell Comedy. And we were in the Seaport. We were at this hotel, the Omni Hotel.
Yeah.
It's a nice hotel. It's a bit fancy. There was a rooftop pool, and the show was like in a room next to it.
Yeah.
There was a cup in that room of pens, Omni Hotel pens, right? And the second show was a little sloppy. People were drinking. Mm-hmm. And while I was waiting to go up, because I'm closing the show, while I was waiting, I was joking with the other comics, like, I'm going to take this cup of pens up, and I'm going to give people pens, right?
Yeah.
And it was just a joke.
Yep.
And I was like, I think it's, why not, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck it. And I did do that. And it was fun. It was fun to go up. I had some in my pocket, and I had the cup, but people thought it was a drink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I like being in a fancy hotel. It's fun. You can, they have like nice pens and stuff, but you don't even have to be a guest. You just take the pen.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can have one. I gave it to a guy. I'm like, you can have one. And this group of sloppy 20-somethings were so blown away by the idea of me simply producing multiple pens.
That's fun.
Like a magic trick. And I said, these are just coming out of my pocket, right? Like, and then I did that, and I had a cup, and I said, pass the cup around. They fucking cheered. They were getting a pen. They were so happy. There was one woman, I said, okay, now I'm going to tell a joke. And then she was like, and I didn't hear her. And I was like, what did you say? She's like, nah, it's fine, whatever. I'm like terrified right now. And I'm like, oh, I'm scared too. Everybody's looking at me.
Yeah.
And so, doing crowd work, she was a little standoffish. I won her over by the end. But she was like, no, you just said, like, I'm going to do a joke. And I was like, we've been waiting for that, right?
Oh, come on.
I think she meant in general, like for the show,
Yeah.
which actually bothers me more because that's about the other comics, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, no. And the pens were going around, and they got to her at the perfect time. And I went, no, you don't get a pen. Put that fucking pen back.
Yeah,
Take
good.
that pen from her. Take that pen from her. I genuinely think if I said, let's fucking get her, the whole room would have been like, yeah! Like, it was so wild. So I don't know if there's no lesson to be learned here other than if you want to really rile up a group of people, pens,
Yeah, that's great.
swag.
Are you
I
doing
like it.
Are you doing the 6:30 show or the 8:45 show?
I believe it's the 8:45. I don't know exactly yet. I can't remember, and I'm sorry. But speaking of, you have things that you want to do, right? I thought I was stalling for you to find the emails, but you've been talking to a friend. I thought this was the cold open. I thought the pen story was that I wasted the pen story.
No, the pen story counts.
Pen story counts.
All right.
I'm ready on the emails. But let's open the episode.
Let's do it.
I mean, okay.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Funbearable. I'm Brad Rohr.
I am Ray Harrington.
I am Chuck. I brought my own pen, and so I can heckle all I want.
Didn't you just take that pen from me?
Also, we just recorded a different episode, and Chuck identified as Ray at the beginning of
Yeah,
the
that is
episode.
right, yeah.
And I heard an R before Chuck. I am rear Jux.
I'm
I
getting
brought my own
better.
pen.
I'm getting
Yes.
slow improvement.
I'm the real Chuck Staten. That's what he was going to say, yeah.
But we're
so
doing.
maybe we get Funbearable pens.
Ooh.
Of course, I would
And then
love
we
that.
rule the world.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
You know those big, thick ones, and there's different pen colors you can have.
Yeah.
That's a good pen.
Or tip it upside down. Brad's clothes come off.
That
Right?
would be insane.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Are you willing to pose for a pen?
Of course.
Of course. What is that? Is that another pen?
So we're doing mail sack.
Yeah.
We haven't done mail sack in almost 2 months now, according to my timeline that I'm planning. And we gotta christen this thing. We know how we start this.
Yeah, well, I think we could
Yeah.
just go straight into the emails.
We love it.
don't have
Brad
to
hates it.
Open the mail
It's
sack.
time to me. Crack that sack. Pens, pens
Craig,
falling.
Pens.
Nude lady pens.
Yeah,
nude lady pens.
Nude Brad pen.
Ooh,
Nude
nude
Brad
Brad
pens.
pens. Ooh. Ooh, you're going to want to click that big.
It'll come out if you click me.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't click it too fast. This email is from September 11th, 2024.
Oh, thank God.
Yep.
Okay.
It's in reference to episode number 110, which was also a mail sack, I think. Don't Pooch My Gooch. Was
it?
episode 110?
Usually we use mail
sort
sack
of,
in
yeah.
the title.
Well,
Some
it was
sort of rhyme.
about, but there's just, it just says.
How many
it's-
gooches did we pooch?
Just one.
I have such a fun thing to tell Ray about Brad. Is now the time?
Yeah, before
Oh
I.
no,
read-
we do mail sack. This is going to be saved for a normal episode.
Okay. Great.
I think all the episodes are normal.
I think none of them are normal.
This email is from Chad. It says,
Touche.
"Hi, fun boys. Number 1, Elliott Smith. Number 2, Nirvana. Number 3, Two Nights." I don't know the context for that. But also, shout out to Brad for reminding me about No Use for a Name. Haven't listened to them since probably college and just went on a binge of their stuff. Really
yeah.
great music from St. Louis, Chad.
That's great.
So I'm
We have
glad.
no idea what that's in reference to, and
yeah,
I
it's
love that.
about like 3 musicians that meant
Best
something to you.
songs to sleep with.
What was number
someone
3?
to?
The TWO, Two Nights. KNIGHTS. So
Man,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I gotta say an inside joke. Not inside. I'm very hyped up right now because there's a TV show that we all like with filmmakers we all like. And the TV show is called Nirvana the Band, the show.
yes.
Not a ton of people know about this. And
Yeah.
by the way, I've talked to a ton of people, and I'm like, have you heard of this? No one's heard of the show.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It was Vice TV Canada, so I understand. It was this great show. Ray turned us onto it.
Yes.
It's about 2 guys, and essentially it's like a comedy band show.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to do the same thing every single episode, which is play the main venue in their town, Toronto. The Rivoli is
Yes.
the name of the venue. And it's Matt Johnson and Jay McCarroll. Matt Johnson is one of the stars and the director, and he did Blackberry last year. He directed that movie
Which
and
was
was
great,
starring
yeah.
it, which is awesome, with Glenn Howerton and Jay Baruchel. And because of the success of that, he was signed to CAA, and they made Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie,
Yeah.
as the follow-up to the 2 seasons that were released. And it's premiered at South by Southwest. I've been like obsessed with the reviews and the people talking about it. It got this huge standing ovation. It won the Midnighter Award at South by Southwest. So excited to see it.
And Gary Midnighter does not
No.
give out that award lightly.
No, he does. It's not an annual thing. It's
No.
like it's pretty rare.
But I just saw a
And it's a
clip.
big deal when Gary comes out. Oh my God.
I just saw a clip that must be from the web series because I never saw it before. And it's Matt and Jay, and their name is Nirvana the Band, and they never acknowledge Nirvana.
Yeah, yeah.
And the clip was Jay being like, Matt, and he's looking at a thing. He's like, someone has our band name, and he's like, Nirvana the Band. He's like, no, not the whole name, just part of it. And Matt's like, what do you mean? It's like, there's another band called. He goes, yeah, there's another band called The Band.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's so good. I never saw
yeah.
it until yesterday.
Yeah.
But
That's
I'm
fun.
so excited about Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought it up. I'm going to ask you politely. Don't text me any more information about it because I'm just as excited as you. You might be a little more excited. Hang
Yeah.
on.
You're excited too.
I'm sorry. I'm slowly dying here. But the things you have texted me, screenshots of like articles and things, have information about what's happening in the movie. I don't
Tiny.
want to know. But
Tiny.
I don't even want the tinies.
I know.
Tinies build up.
Tinies
build up.
I got
which
more-
is what Brad always tells people.
I got more information.
I'm lying though.
I got more information than you did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm playing that game with myself where it's like, it's
Yeah.
exciting, but
Don't-
I would like to know the least amount.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
I can't
don't
wait
wanna
to
know.
see it.
It's funny though because I'm not reading anything about it because I don't want to know, and then you're excited too. So you send me the things I'm avoiding, and I'm like, don't send me those.
And the reason I'm sending them to both of Brad and Ray
Yeah.
is just because this concept of this show, which is a lot more to it than I explained.
Yeah.
It's like half hidden camera. It's really interesting. So many people are new to the whole thing,
Right.
and it's being reviewed really well. And part of the reviews are saying like, although there are probably Easter eggs for people that are fans of the show and callbacks, they make this movie accessible to brand new audiences
Yeah.
out the gate, which is so exciting. And I love that they're getting some, accolades.
Yeah,
for this
buzz,
thing.
whatever,
It's
yeah.
great. It's so cool,
And
man.
I will say, I do know one spoiler, which is they've been working on the movie for a long time. They do some stuff that is, it could be reported on as if it was real, but it's not. It's them doing the show. And I'll just say this. That maybe wasn't Will Smith at the Oscars.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Maybe it wasn't Will
Great
Smith.
hair and makeup on Nirvana the band, the show, the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You almost said that Midwestern.
Yes, I did.
Nirvana the band.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Look,
All right, yeah.
next email.
Next email, representing Funbearable in Massachusetts from Tara. Hey guys, sorry to Brad and Ray, but Chuck's shirt available at funbearablepod.com.
Oh, I looked at Chuck's shirt right now. What about it?
Chuck's shirt is far superior. Laughing emoji. We both represented Funbearable in Salem, Massachusetts, and at the Ice 9 Kills Con in Worcester, Mass. Pictures attached.
Whoa.
We just finished watching the 100th episode, and we were absolutely dying at Brad's brats.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for all the laughs. Looking forward to what you all have planned for the upcoming holidays. And again, this was sent in September.
Yeah.
So they
went well. They
they've
went
seen
well.
it,
They
yeah.
loved them.
Quick question.
And it's just nice to see people wearing Funbearable shirts in the wild.
Totally.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's great.
Yeah.
My question is this, and I'm going to sound like an aunt who's trying to connect.
Sure.
What's an Ice 9 Kills?
So Ice 9 Kills is actually a band. So I've never, I don't know. Did she say Ice 9 Kills concert or con?
It says, you know what? It says con, but probably concert.
They probably meant concert. So it's a band.
I'd like to think it was a con.
Here's
You know what? It's a con.
Wow, they do.
Look
an
at the
Ice 9
background of this photo. There's booths.
Wow. So Ice 9 Kills. So here's a funny
Booths in
thing.
the background of that.
Those
photo.
are indeed booths.
I'll tell you an interesting thing. I don't know the band Ice 9 Kills, but one of my favorite bands is Real Big Fish,
Yeah.
which is a third wave ska band that got famous in like 1995. Ice 9 Kills is like a way more like rough, like I don't know if it's a hardcore band, I don't know what it is, but they did a collaboration song recently. It's a cover of Walking on Sunshine
Okay.
for the American Psycho comic book series.
Oh.
It was a lot of stuff.
Ooh.
It was a lot of. They did a good job.
Yeah, yeah.
They did a good job because it's mixing third wave ska with like, I don't know what it is, hardcore. I don't know
Yeah.
what the band is.
Yeah.
And it's pretty. It's well done for sure. But that's how I know what the band is.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I know. That's very cool though.
I heard they also did another ska hardcore combo.
Oh, what was that?
It was Nazis Skank Off. That was so dumb. That was so dumb.
was.
Skank out of here.
Real Big Fish has a song called "I Just Want to Skank for Christmas."
Yep.
And it's a very double entendre song, and it's. Really
I think it's
great.
just a single entendre.
Well, it gets to the end and it's like, and to be clear, I'm talking about the ska dance and nothing else.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
Santa saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
What's this skanking?
Yes.
Oh, I'm having fun.
Next,
Fun beat.
next email is from Mike, and it's subject line ET game episode. It's from October 3rd. When my kids were young, yeah.
For a split second, I was like, man, these people got to email like sooner. But it's us. It's our fault.
Oh, it's our fault.
That sack is uncracked. When my kids were young, without a copy of the E.T. movie, I insisted repeatedly that in the scene where E.T. was sick and covered in flour, he said, "Elliot, I will eat your brains," and explained it was a cautionary tale.
Wait, Of what?
Years
Be
later,
careful who you're friends with.
years later, my kids finally saw it again and told me he never said that. I didn't drop it and said they saw some lame, woke, edited version because the 80s weren't afraid of keeping it real. Excellent episode. Ray telling Gidim he was going to flip the table if he yelled at him again was priceless. From Mike.
Sometimes it's important to, establish boundaries. You know what I mean? That is
funny.
fun. That is a fun idea of like I have a child, and it's funny to me the idea of like establishing something that is so made up with them that they have to find out far later. Unfortunately, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't think I've done that. I don't think I've created a thing where I have to wait until Finn is like 25 for him to be like, dude, what, you were lying. That never happened.
You know what's funny though?
Maybe I should start it now.
You feel a responsibility to be a good dad.
Sure.
But that's more, I think, for like the fun uncle to do, to lie about stuff.
That is a funkle situation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In terms
you're
of
right.
like, you're almost like, I'm his dad, so I don't want to lie because then I'm establishing that I may lie.
Right.
It was funny. So last night we went out for my girlfriend's birthday in Providence. We went to Narragansett Brewery, and my roommate Jordan.
She can vote.
Yes.
Well, my roommate Jordan
School elections.
brought his daughter Callie, who is 15.
Yeah.
to come, and we were talking, and a few of us were talking, and I was like, Jordan moved into my house when Callie was 3 years old. So now she's a 15-year-old person.
Yeah.
She moved in at 3 years old, and she stays once in a while. Back then, she stayed like every other weekend. And she's like, yeah. She goes, did you tell me that my tail had fallen off by then or not? And we had told her when she moved in that she was born with a tail, and so we had to put a rubber band around it until it fell off.
Yep.
And when she was a little kid, she believed that for a long time, and she still remembers it.
Yeah.
I think the closest I came to, but it was a thing that I said, and then before I could even really finish the sentence, undid it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
There were a couple of times when he was a little bit older, not young enough to get like scared of this, but I do remember like he heard a noise and he's like, what is that? Like maybe it was windy outside and a branch fell or something, and I'm like, oh, that's just your brother. And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, your brother, he's in the attic, right? But then I was like, I can't do this. And I was like, I'm kidding, that was a joke. But the idea of that. And I remember Kalina was there at one point, maybe we were having dinner or something, and I made that joke. And I said, like, that was our first kid. We had to get rid of him.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's so dumb, but
it's
I
fun.
couldn't play it out. I was like, no, I can't do this to him.
I think you have the responsibility of like, I want to be a good dad.
Yeah.
We did another one to Callie that we did all the time. We did something all the time. One of my favorites was like, we would all go out somewhere. Let's say we're going to like a farm to get pumpkins and carve jack-o'-lanterns. I'd be like, hey, Cal, I'm so tired. And I would take the keys. She was like 4.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she was like 6.
She was 6. I'd be like, listen, you got to drive home. I'm too tired.
Yeah.
She'd be like, I can't drive.
Yeah.
And I'm like that. And she would get stressed.
That a million times. A million times I'm like, you driving, that stuff.
Yeah.
It's very dad jokey where I'm like, are you driving or you're paying, that kind of stuff. It's fun. And it was always cute to see like a 5-year-old be like, I can't drive or I don't have any money. That kind of stuff. It's fun.
Yeah. My nieces, I do a lot of stuff like that with them. And they love it.
Any excuse Chuck has to lie, he's going to take.
Especially to a child.
Especially to a child.
It feels good. Yeah.
Because you're like, they're never going to figure this out.
The only lies I've perpetrated on my boy really are just like listen, hey, don't tell my son if you're listening to this or watching this, don't tell him, but I'm the tooth fairy. So that's I'm still doing that. He just lost 2 teeth.
Wow.
Like a couple weeks ago.
Big fight.
And well, he did that. He came home from school. It happened when he was at school. And he came home and he's like, I lost 2 teeth today. And in my head, I'm like, fuck. Because I have to be the tooth fairy. I have to sneak that. I have to sneak it.
So he's 11?
He just turned 11.
Yeah.
How, like to me, 4-year-old sleeping, whatever.
Yeah.
11-year-old sleeping, is he going to wake up?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's so hard. The last tooth before those 2, I was in there, and the problem is, I love my son so much, but the problem is, he's like, oh, I have to put this tooth under the pillow, right? Let me put it as far
All the
back
way
as
under the tip,
possible.
yeah.
And I'm always just like, no, you should leave it towards the edge. You leave it towards the edge. You leave it towards the edge.
This is amazing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I sneak in. My hand is under his pillow trying to get the baggie with the tooth in
You're
it.
not
Yeah.
tiny.
No.
You're not-
Oh, I get low. And
Turtles up
the problem is my knees are cracking so loud.
You got to go full Grinch and just slither.
Slither and slide, yeah. Get the baggie with my teeth, you know? No, so I had my hand under, and he's laying there, and he woke up, and he looked at me, and I went, go back to sleep, like that. I didn't know what to do. I panicked. I went, go back to sleep, right? And he just went, and he just went back to sleep. And in the morning, no memory of it.
Good.
And he was just like, the tooth fairy came. And so for the 2 teeth, I'm like, all right, I got to get in there and slide this in there. And for a long time, when he lost his first tooth, I happened to have a gold dollar coin,
Yep.
like a Sacagawea.
Yep.
And I had put that under his pillow.
Good.
And then it became a tradition to do dollar coins,
Yeah.
right? And I thought that was fun. It's more exciting than
Yeah.
a bill.
Yeah.
And I remember he lost his teeth, or he lost one tooth, and I had run out, and I drove around like for 45 minutes going to different places going, do you have a dollar coin? Do you have a dollar coin? Do you have a dollar coin? I couldn't fucking find one. This time, I'm out of the coins. I'm like, he lost 2 teeth.
Yep.
They're chompers, not the front teeth.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, I did a $10 bill.
That's nice.
2 teeth, you
Yeah.
know. But I managed to do it, and I thought for sure, I had the same exact thought. He's now 11.
Yep.
I can't keep sneaking in here. I can't do it.
I have an idea, and if it's stupid, it's okay. You can tell me it's stupid.
Okay.
What if you tell Finn, listen, is like the tooth fairy, a lot of teeth, a lot of stuff. We're gonna tie a string to it and put it out under your door. Is that cool?
I think he might wake up.
But if you pull it,
Yeah, because I have no control, really. You know what I mean? I can't see if he's like
well, you could
fast asleep, you know?
you could open the door a little bit and pull it, and then you don't have to sneak all the way in
I
and
will
you can
say
reach under his pillow.
Maybe not a string all the way out to the hallway, but like certainly a string past the edge of the bed so that you can
Well, I was gonna say
without putting your paw under the pillow.
Well, here's what's cool though. I was gonna say if you're like, listen, we're gonna put out the hallway and it's gonna go out the closest window.
Yeah.
At the next day, you could have the string still hanging from the window and have the dollar.
On the string.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was my next question. If I use that to pull the tooth out from under the pillow, how's the money getting in?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's in the windowsill.
What if I tell him that the tooth fairy's trying a new system,
Yes.
and instead of putting it under your pillow, you swallow the tooth,
yes.
you pass it,
Yep.
and then money will arrive by the toilet. Right? The tooth fairy lives down there.
Near the toilet.
You know, it'd be
Yeah.
really funny if you were just like, this would be really funny if you're like in the living room and he's watching TV. You guys are hanging out. You know,
Yeah.
You're watching a show, or you're playing a game, and you get your phone. You go like, oh my god, this shit again. And he's like, what? What's going on? And you're like, look at this. And you make a fake email from the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
And it's like new Tooth Fairy guidelines 2025.
Yeah.
And it has the string thing. And you're like, look at this.
COVID.
That would be really
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, thankfully, I think we're just about through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But man, oh man, I am amazed that I've gotten this far. There is a part of me that does love the I think the outside looking in idea of this 6'7" fat guy is my son's tooth fairy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's me. It's me. I can't wait for the day when he's like a lot older.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully I'm still around. I don't know, maybe not. But I can't wait for the day to be like, yeah, it was me
Yeah.
the whole time. I was the tooth fairy.
Can
Yeah.
you do a Tooth Fairy finale? You dress up in like a tutu and like a little hat, and you go in and you knock something over loud. Oh, and he wakes up, and you're like,
You
I'm
got
a
me.
Tooth Fairy.
I'm actually the tooth fairy for everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody.
That's funny.
It is funny. You think I'm a stand-up comedian? You think I'm flying off to do shows? I'm getting teeth. That's why I don't have a lot of money.
Don't open the closet in my room.
Alternate take. You've seen old Jackass videos of Bam Margera
Waking his dad up?
Waking his dad up. Green like night vision cam.
Yeah.
I think for his last one, you film it as like proof, like it was me the whole time.
Oh, that's cool. That's kind of nice.
Or, I think maybe he has like 1 or 2 teeth left.
Well, and then light a bunch of fireworks.
Well, I
on
was going to say heavily drug him.
yes.
Yeah. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
was
That way
good,
I can
too.
just literally lift him up, do the money switch, put him back down.
A prank
It's biased.
Oh, he's still breathing.
It's by his
shallow.
waistband.
Yeah, it's shallow. It's shallow breathing, but
I'll
he's still
say
there.
a prank that Chuck wanted to do that I have repeatedly spoken out against.
Tell me this wouldn't be a great prank.
Okay, let's say it's Ray. Let's say we're gonna prank Ray.
That would be tough.
I know we're not gonna prank Ray, but because he's here.
Sure.
So we
You wake up one day, you feel groggy.
and you're confused. You're like, wow, I really slept hard last night. Normally I don't sleep well. And then, we bring you into the podcast or, on stage and we're like, Ray, we know you slept really odd the other night. You feel like you lost a day or whatever. We want to show you what happened. And we reveal that we drugged you and took you to a skydiving facility.
Oh, I've heard this concept.
Yeah, all unconscious. We
Yeah.
strap you to somebody else. You're skydiving, but
Yeah.
and then we drive you home and put you back in bed. I think it's a terrible idea.
Sure.
And that no skydiving agency worth its salt would do it. Chuck still wants to do it.
Now, here's the deal. I think it's a funny. However, I applaud your ability to find a logical issue with it.
Yeah.
But also missing the most logical issue, which is for that to work, you would need TV and movie knockout drug.
Yes.
That
Yes.
isn't real.
Right. No,
Right.
it's not.
Like,
It's
like,
tough.
yeah. Like you would have to put somebody under.
Yes.
Literally, like you would need an anesthesiologist.
Yes.
Yes.
Monitoring at all times.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it becomes, oh, he's dead.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
died. You know?
Just for argument's sake, do you think that they could pull it off for like Jackass 5? Like, do you think that Knoxville could pull it off on Danger Aaron?
I don't think so. And I think if I saw someone like show that like it was real, I would immediately be like, nah.
Okay.
What if they had an
Nah.
anesthesiologist the whole time?
They would have to be like connected to them with drugs and oxygen to keep them like alive. You know what I mean? It's there like that's a movie magic concept of like we knocked him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. There was like a brief period of time where there was like a fad of videos being made that were like, these like YouTube families
Yes.
or whatever, like
Yeah.
social media families. There was a fad of like, while mom is sleeping at this hotel, we took the whole mattress, we carried her out to the beach and we
Yeah.
put her on the beach. And it's like, none of these are real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of these are real.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Anyone, like the movement that they're doing is like anyone would wake up.
Yeah.
I don't care if you gave them a bottle of NyQuil. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think that's the hard part is the movie magic part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do
You'd
pranks.
kill
and stuff.
somebody, Chuck.
Yeah.
You would kill somebody.
We used to do pranks and stuff with my band. We used to film them and put them out, and they were all real. And then we'd also do scripted videos.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a weird marriage. And we kind of transitioned at one point where we were like, the pranks are getting too crazy. And so we purposely did ones that obviously were not real.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
someone would be sleeping and we'd take super glue and we'd paint their face and we'd slap a beard on them and they'd be stuck with a beard.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
stuff like that.
For a year.
For a year. It was called Beard Year.
Beard year. Great
And
prank.
I kind of like the idea of like trying to transition from pranks to real scripted stuff by calling yourself out and making fake ones that you kind of present as fake.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's a fun way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, you're right. That's a movie magic
Yeah.
prank.
Yeah.
I don't think we could do it.
Or maybe that's how I tell Finn the truth. Right? Or if
Yeah.
I get caught on the next one,
Yeah.
being the tooth fairy, maybe I can just be like, you fucking idiot. You fell for it the whole fucking time. I fucking got this guy so good.
Yeah.
I'm telling my kid I'm the tooth fairy.
Next email is from Eric. It's from October 5th. Subject line is question. I know a lot of the podcast has musical roots. I was wondering, what is each of your picks for your top 3 favorite music videos based on the combination of music plus the cinematography of the video? If the video is purely emotional, include why?
Before we answer the question, I would
Yes.
like to just point out $1 million idea that's within that email.
Yes.
The musical roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I
What
get
if
it.
we did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What
don't
if
know.
we did that?
I don't know that we.
We can play one part of it.
You sure? Sure. We could write it.
Yeah.
We could write the musical.
Yep.
You write the music.
we could write it and then say someone else wrote it.
Yeah,
you know what I
thank
mean?
you. Yeah.
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 Oh, the whipping song.
All of these songs.
These songs are
all
Hey,
whipping.
this is all bad.
I think one of my favorite music videos is November Rain for Guns N' Roses.
Yep.
A longer music video.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be part of a trilogy based on a short story or a series of short stories. And then Axl Rose is like, you know what, I changed my mind. And so you don't get closure on the story of
you just
this
get a cake in the
bizarre
rain.
November Rain. Yeah. Slash going out and doing the guitar solo in front of like the church in the middle of nowhere. And like I love the song, and I wasn't a huge Guns N' Roses guy, and but that video was great. And even little things where it's like, oh no, Axl doesn't have the wedding ring for, I think Stephanie Seymour was the model in that video, and Slash is like, take the one off my finger. Like, I was like, wow, these are cool rock and roll friends. Yeah, I was 13 years old.
Yeah. Of course.
So I think that's one of my favorites. And then kind of the other end of the production spectrum, Nine Inch Nails did a video for the song March of the Pigs. Shorter song, very fast, very thrashy for the most part. Filmed in one take on a studio, like a sound studio or sound stage, just white background. Like you see the cords and cables everywhere, and it fits with the like quick, urgent nature of the song. And it's I think I saw it at one point like, oh, it was shot in one take. There's no cuts. It's just 2.5 minutes or whatever of like Trent Reznor and the boys giving it their all. So that's two of my three. I'm going to continue to think about the third.
Okay.
This is such a big, there's so many possibilities.
Yeah, it's also like slightly narrowed too because of the
Time.
nature of music videos and the fact that they're different now. Yeah.
Totally. I mean, it's tough because we all have to consider Thriller.
Yes.
It's fucking incredible.
Vincent
Vincent Price.
Yeah.
I was scared.
Like, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Scope. Victory by Puff Daddy was the most expensive video of all time for a long time. It was like an action movie with Busta Rhymes on the roof. Was so good. It sucks too because OK Go made a career out of making super interesting, great videos. The treadmill video is the first one, and it's low rent, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
They made a Zero Gravity video. It's funny bringing up Real Big Fish again. They did a video. It's really funny. I've been thinking about Real Big Fish a lot recently because they're reissuing some of their albums, and they really had this very interesting take on what being a band is, and they would sing about it all the time, and they would sing about selling out and fitting in, and so their first single was called "Sell Out," and it was like the real story of them signing to this label and how their scene turned on them, and they did a video right after that called "Everything Sucks." And the whole series of videos from that album, which had Sellout on it, was about their experience with the record label. And when they go like in Sellout, they get jumpsuits like they're in prison, and it says ska band, and they see Goldfinger, and it says punk band, and like they're all. And so in Everything Sucks, they're talking to the record exec, and he goes, "Listen." It's like, we're going to give you a music video and you got a budget of $5,000. And they're like flipping out over the $5,000 and they're doing the stupidest shit. They're dressed in like Renaissance fair stuff. And halfway through the video, they go to a pawn shop to sell their instruments to finish the video. And they have to finish it without it. And I'm like, I love the actual low concept. We're fun.
Yeah.
Let's think of stuff for us.
Yeah.
So that really appeals to me. That's very tough. It's
a
really
hard
tough.
one.
I did think of a third one for me, and it's
Yeah.
Genesis, Land of Confusion.
Okay.
Very much of its time, where it is figures in the culture at the time, not just pop culture, but like Ronald Reagan. And it's very stylized depictions of them kind of as puppets. And I was thinking about this recently. I didn't, Ronald Reagan rolls over in bed and there are two buttons and one says nuke and one says nurse. Because, he's old and, he presses the nuke button on accident. And he's like, well, I get, whatever. And, you see the mushroom cloud out the window. And it's like, I think it was just one that visually captivated me when I was young.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing. There's
Yeah.
probably
And
a lot,
such a unique look.
I was gonna say there's the Foo Fighters Everlong video is them sleeping and dreaming of these different things.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
there's one part where Dave Grohl has all these like legs, like women's legs on him, and then he like wakes up and it's all logs, and he's like in that cabin when he's getting stolen. But so there's so much. I don't know if I can answer this question at all.
No, it's a really difficult one. I'm gonna choose to answer it differently.
Yeah.
And go with things that stuck out the most to me.
Sure.
Okay.
When I was a kid, Aerosmith.
Yep.
They had a series of
The
videos
Alicia Silverstone
where they,
videos,
yeah,
yeah.
Alicia Silverstone and Liv
Tyler.
Tyler, which is his daughter, which is weird because
Yep.
it's all very sexual. You know, there's that classic one, where it's the two of them sort of Thelma and Louising a little bit, right?
yes.
And they go to the convenience store and they do like a topless photo in the photo booth and
Yep.
give it to the worker because he lets them steal all the stuff.
Yep.
It feels so 90s in a really fun way.
Yes.
And then the other video that Alicia Silverstone was in for them.
She was in 3.
Oh, okay.
It was Crying,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Amazing, and Crazy.
Crazy. I think
Yeah.
it's Crazy.
Yeah.
I think Crazy was the third one.
At the
Thelma and
end,
Louise.
she jumps off the bridge.
Nope, that's Crying.
Crying. Okay. When she jumps off the bridge, and it's revealed that she has been tethered in some way to the bridge.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That stuck with me for so long because when I look at it, my immediate thing when I saw it was because it's like a wire, not a rope, not
Yeah.
a bungee.
It's not a bungee cord.
Yeah, it's like a wire. My immediate thing was like, oh, her spine is broken.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought. Then I thought, is it hooked up to her belly button? Because that's what it looks like
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
video. Like she got a piercing and then it was attached.
Yeah.
And I think she gets a belly
She
button
does.
piercing
She did
in
get
one of the videos.
Yeah, I think so too.
But in my head, it was she jumped with just a wire, no stretchiness at all, immediately jerked and broke her spine.
Yes.
That's all I thought of. So that stuck out to me for some reason.
Yep.
I don't know. Music videos are hard because they are that thing of like, there's the song and then what music video culture was. I
loved it.
Was like the song is like over here,
Yep.
and now we're gonna try and do this thing. You know what I mean?
I think
it's cool.
It's so cool.
It's just interesting. I don't know. Yeah. So that's a really hard question to answer.
I'd
Yeah.
love to do an episode about Funbearable in the future. We'll have to think about how to tackle it, but it'd be cool to do one about music videos.
Nice.
Yeah, that's tough.
Great
That is
question,
tough.
Eric. We appreciate it.
Gonna give you one final thing about Limp
Please.
Bizkit? I know Limp Bizkit's like a joke to people like Ray.
Sure.
He has a dartboard with Fred Durst. But one thing that was incredible, they did.
Oh, Fred Durst was in Limp Bizkit?
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh. You're thinking of Robert Durst.
Yeah, I was like, fuck that guy. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm just thinking about the letters I wrote.
Yeah.
I wrote Fred Durst and I said, you fucking killed those people.
He's thinking it's about Woodstock.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
So.
Oh, and then when I watched the Jinx, I remember thinking like, chill out. It was a concert. That's what I kept thinking.
There's three things they did in a
Shoot.
row that were amazing. One, after they got famous, they did a summer where they would just do guerrilla concert setups where they would not sell tickets, they would not go to venues, they would just set it up and have radio stations announce it.
Yeah.
And they filmed all of that to make the Nookie video. That's how they made it.
Gotcha.
That's incredible for a rock band to do.
Yeah.
Second thing, go ahead.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, yeah.
I got my other two.
Nice.
Oh, good.
They came in.
Yeah.
Beastie Boys.
Oh, Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
The best.
It was just fucking cool as
Yep.
hell.
And
right?
Intergalactic is fucking cool as
Sure,
hell.
but that
Yes.
one.
Yep.
It's so like it's just raw. It's just them running around with fake mustaches, jumping
Spike
over
Jones.
hoods.
Yep.
Yeah, and I loved it because it was like I could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
that was really fun. And then the other one, just for like impact in my life at that time, because it was a thing for everyone. Was Seal kissed by a rose?
Kiss from a Rose.
Yeah.
Kiss. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
know. There was a rose and some kissing. I'm not sure. No, I'm Trump now. Or something?
Yes.
There was a rose. There was some kissing. No one knows. We all love roses. He's got scars on his face. No, but it was important only because it was like, oh, this song is not the kind of music I listen to, but it's on the Batman soundtrack. I gotta like this, and everyone knew it.
Yep.
Oh,
Baby!
That song was monstrous.
So much so that then Seal went on to just sort of be
Yes, that's right.
with Heidi Klum.
He was in a Super Bowl commercial this year.
Seal.
30 years
Crazy.
after Kiss from a Rose.
I firmly believe that if Kiss from a Rose didn't exist, Heidi Klum would never.
Naver is funny. Naver.
Aver. Nerver.
Neighbor Aber. Yeah.
So the final two things, same album, next videos. Limp Bizkit did a song called Rearranged. It was their single. And the whole single was them in court for the Woodstock riots.
Oh, okay.
And Matt Pinfield was the judge. He was a guy that was on MTV at the time. I think he was a DJ and hosted like some of the rock shows. And he sent them to death in the video. And at the conclusion of the song, they're in a tank playing music, and the tank fills with milk, and they drown them, and it drowns them. And then they're just floating in white, and it's like against like a white screen. And Wes Borland, the guitarist, says, are we in heaven right now? And Fred Durst says, if we were in heaven, I'd be kicking it with Method Man. And they all fall, and it says, to be continued. And the next video was And Together Now.
Right.
And they fall onto the couch with Method Man.
I feel like you told me this before.
I did.
Yeah.
He's mentioned it hundreds of times.
Yeah.
This is how he seduced Natalie.
No, there's a lot of milk.
And it's just...
Maybe if I kiss him, he'll shut up.
all that stuff is just so imaginative and so cool.
Yeah.
It's like what you want from a band.
Yes.
You want them to care, because that's, if we really did go back and look at music videos, we're going to be able to go, Sabotage, super creative.
Yeah.
This corporate bullshit, super creative, corporate bullshit. You know what I mean? Back and forth.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But but man, with the wealth of music videos that came out between, 1984 and 2007, 8.
Yeah.
There's a lot to choose from.
Oh, of course.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and then MTV like basically made the making of them a thing to watch.
Yeah.
You know, making the video. I watched every episode of Making the Video.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think there was a show where they were like, oh, we're going to have stunt performers recreate stunts that were done in music videos.
Oh, that's fun.
And I was like, I'm on board, you know.
Whoa, look at the tank of milk. It's filling up.
Yes. Oh, they're pretending to drown.
I drive dirt bikes. I don't know what to do with this. I'm lactose intolerant. You see a brown cloud in the white.
Hello, friends. We're taking a break from the episode here to give a shout out to our sponsor, Narragansett Beer. Thank you so much to Narragansett Beer for sponsoring us. You won't believe this, they have tasked us with another marketing thing.
Do they know that we're just a podcast? They're sponsoring us?
I'm a stand-up comedian most of the time, and then I do the podcast with you guys. I'm exhausted.
They have asked us, they said, hey, we've seen the success of cereals. And, you know, putting...
In general, cereal, they've seen the success
You mean like
of?
stories that continue?
Nope. I mean Cereals.
Oh.
So, like, Frosted Flakes and Lucky Charms and what have you. They said a lot of the reason is that, you know, they used to include toys in the bottom of a box of cereal.
Yeah.
What can we include in a box of Gansett, like a 12-pack of Gansett?
Ooh,
like
okay.
What value-adding item? That was the phrase that our friend Cam used. What value-adding item can we use to encourage people to buy and drink more Gansett?
What about like a little mouse's head?
All right, that's a
Or
possibility.
would people think that
That
happened?
came from the factory.
Yeah.
They'll think,
yeah.
You
they'll
don't
think
want
the
that.
body's in the can.
You don't want that.
no.
I thought about like a golden ticket, like a Willy Wonka type thing, but then I read the rest of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it didn't go well for 80% of the people who visited that factory.
But also, if you follow closely, they kind of deserved it.
Well, yeah.
Right. Veruca.
You know what I mean?
Veruca salt.
Yeah. So these are things. These are things to remember.
Just a possibility.
I want it now. I want, you know what I mean?
What about a handwritten note from someone at the factory?
Like
In
help,
each
I'm
box.
I'm being held hostage.
Oh, yeah, no, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah,
a message
and
in a
you know they're
bottle
gonna say that.
situation.
Do we... I'm just going to throw this out. Do people know about the child labor? Or do we keep that?
I think
do we
we
just
keep.
avoid
I
it?
think we keep the child labor on the DL.
Okay.
So I was thinking like a full pizza.
would it fit in a can?
I don't know.
Well, not in the can. That's
In the box,
ridiculous.
you're
Yeah,
saying?
in the box.
Then you'd have to make a bigger
like
box.
packing.
You're gonna need a bigger box.
I'm thinking of stuff that you're drinking it, and it goes in your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Pennies.
That's it.
Pennies.
Pennies from heaven.
Pennies from heaven. There we go. That's the name of the promotion. If you want to get involved with the Pennies for Heaven promotion, check out narragansettbeer.com or Gansett Beer on social media.
And how about this? 1 in every 100 cans, nickel from hell.
We got it.
Sacagawea dollar coin from
Purgatory.
Now,
That one's rare.
back to our normal, fully hinged episode.
Oh, no. I got bad news about that hinge.
Next email is from John. It's very, very short. They stole Dr. Genius's idea and said, Fun Boys, SNL stole Chuck's joke, and it's a link to the Instagram reel for Sushi Glory Hole.
Oh, but mine was a glory hole for haircuts.
Yeah.
So that is, I mean, great minds. There's a lot of crossover.
I appreciate somebody going to bat for you. Not a court in the land, right?
Well, I would say,
Sir, you don't own holes in bathrooms.
I will say, just to say it,
Yeah.
maybe it's awkward. I'm the one that says it. The idea of presenting something in a glory hole setting that is not sexual, I haven't heard of that come from a lot of people. It's just
All
me
right.
and Lonely Island.
Yeah.
That's all.
You're in good company.
I'm in good company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I had glory hole paternity tests, and nobody fucking said anything about that.
That's good. I
Yeah.
like that. Go ahead, Brad. Read it.
I'm just...
What's up, Brad?
No, all right, here we go. I'm ready. It was like 2 marketing emails in a row that we didn't...
Well, read them. Let's find out what's
Yes.
going on.
Well, they were just like, we can help you.
Yeah.
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 All right, so this is from October 18th, franchise flashback Chucky. It's from our buddy Tony C. Hey guys, I really enjoyed this year's franchise flashback. I'm not a huge Chucky fan, but I do think the movies are fun. You're wrong. The one thing that really bothers me about number 3 is that now that Chucky knows he has to possess the first person he reveals his true identity to, why does he waste it on telling a little kid?
That's a great point.
Why not wait until
he knows the rules. Just wait till you meet like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, yeah.
Why not wait until he has captured someone and has the time to do the chant? Why not possess someone with some power? Maybe a police officer, a detective, a politician, or in the case of a military school, a commanding officer.
Yeah.
Possessing a commanding officer in this case would really allow Chucky to get back at Andy. Also, it could be fun to see him training a whole school into possessing different dolls. I'm surprised it did not come up on the pod, but the names Glenn and Glenda are a reference to the Ed Wood movie Glenn or Glenda. Thanks for the great shows, and happy Halloween, or whichever holiday is closest when you read this.
St. Patrick's Day.
I guess it is
I
technically
think it's
closest.
the 50th anniversary of 9/11. I was trying to figure out how could it be old?
Older. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is
Thanks,
from...
Yeah, thank you, Tony. I would say that is a great question because
is.
that's a chance to be like, what do I want to do? Maybe if he had transferred into like John Hamm in 2012, he would have been.
Oh, that's
maybe he
cool.
wouldn't kill anybody anymore. He'd just be like, oh no, my life is great.
Yeah.
You know what I
Maybe he'd
mean?
be happy,
Yeah.
fulfilled.
Yeah,
That's an interesting question.
these are thoughts.
Good
Is
point.
it thoughts, people? They're just thoughts. If I was Chucky, a lot of people saying,
I wouldn't jump in anybody black.
a lot of people saying that I might be the soul of Chucky.
People are saying I was with a doll once.
Mr. President, just answer the question. Do you have the soul?
Then I say, ado, badumbala.
That's why my wife looks so angry all the time.
Crazy red hair. There's a lot of similarities, I can admit.
Oh man, I
That's how he's mass murdering people, by the way.
Listener, viewer, I want to make a pledge to you right now. We will try our hardest not to do Trumps because it's so prevalent. It's everywhere.
I know.
I think this place that we made with our own little 2 hands is a place away from it. You know what I mean? But I do like, now I'm picturing him doll size.
I know. It's fun. It's too
Shit.
fun.
Shit, that tie is dragging on the ground.
Chucky putting himself in Trump is too fun. It's hard to ignore.
Yeah. Oh.
Where's Sarah Sherman when you need him?
Yep.
Damn.
Well, I have my next email here from Chad,
Yes.
October 29th. Hello, Fun Boys.
Hello.
Listening to episode 117, the 2024 Halloween special, and have some personal history with the Villisca Axe Murder House. We talked
that
about
was one of the most haunted
homes
houses
in
in
America.
America.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Chad goes on to say, my grandparents lived in Villisca. To give some context, Villisca is/was extremely small. There's one main road and houses around it. You can walk the whole town pretty quickly.
Sounds like a village in a Dracula story, doesn't it?
Yes.
Villisca. Villisca. Go to the village of Villisca.
We don't talk about the village of Villisca.
We would drive by the Axe Murder House every time we visited my grandparents' house, which was about a block from their home. This would have been in the late 80s through the 90s. My sister, who was 4 years older than me, would always tell me stories about the axe murderer to try to scare me, all along making them up because she knew little but knew enough to frighten me. Especially when we'd spend the night at my grandparents' house, which was an old house, probably from around the turn of the century. And the sounds that came from the house at night would make my imagination run wild. Now thinking back, they may have had raccoons living in the attic. My grandparents didn't like to talk about the Axe Murder House. I think they probably got asked enough about it over their lifetime, but they did float that it was someone who traveled by train that did it. That
was one of the beliefs of what it is.
What always struck me about the Axe Murder House was how it looked like a dump every time we'd see it. As a kid, I'd always think, yeah, that looks like a house where murderers live. Obviously, they've cleaned it up since then if people are now Airbnb-ing in it. Next time I'm at my parents' house, I'll see if I have any pictures. If any pictures exist of me and my sister standing in front of the Axe Murder House, keep up the spooky work. Chad.
Yep.
That's great. That's cool.
It's got to be tough to just happen to be like a block from some sort of nefariously known location, right? Like imagine being...
It's going to be annoying, you mean?
Not the coffee shop next to the Lizzie Borden house, but like people that live 2 houses over, you know? And I'm sure they're like, oh, God. Yes, we do live here. Yes, we know, right?
Well,
like they're bored of it.
I think that happened to the people that live in the Conjuring house. I think they've put out like, do not stop here.
Yeah,
please. This is a long time ago. We're just a normal
trying
family.
to live our lives.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's the worst version of it, is living in the house now.
Yeah.
That's the worst version, probably.
But then you also get stories of like famous movie houses where someone buys the house, moves in, and then is furious that people go there. And it's like, well, no, but that's why you bought it.
The Home Alone house
Yep.
was kind of like that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there around Christmas this year, so I'm sure the traffic is higher, right? It's probably more people going in December than July.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I walked right up to Marty McFly's house.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Really?
Yeah, just walked right up.
Where?
In Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware
I went
of that.
to the mall.
Oh, that's cool.
It was the coolest moment.
The Zero Pines Mall.
We drove around that mall, and there's nothing signifying where it is, and obviously the stores are different now.
Right.
And we're driving, and like, where could it have been? Where could it have been? And I was getting ready to like try and look up a picture to see.
Yeah.
And I was driving, and I stopped, and I went, it was right here. I know. There's the hill. There's the little path.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah.
And I just like knew, like something clicked in my brain. We parked the car. We did some pictures. Did the whole thing. Got home. Then we watched the movie again just for fun. And I was like, and I paused it, and I was like, we were exactly on the spot. It was so fun.
That's
it was
great.
cool. I felt like a real fan.
That's great.
It was nice.
I was watching some Easter egg stuff about Deadpool Wolverine, and at the end there's a subway station, and one at the first stop, I think it says Lone Pine Mall.
Oh, that's fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
great.
Stuff like that.
That is cool.
Back to the Future, man.
Yep.
Let's just do a Back to the Future podcast. Let's just.
I
talk.
would do that 100%. Yeah.
Me too.
This is from November 19th. It is also from Chad. Hello, fun boys. I was at the airport in the security line waiting for them to rummage through my stuff and had my laptop in a security tray in front of me. An older lady came up to retrieve her items after they had gone through the scanner and started to reach for my laptop. She stopped when she saw my beautiful Brad's Skull sticker I have proudly displayed on the top of my laptop. And then there's a request for Ray to read what she said in a clutching my pearls old woman Victorian accent. Just the bottom of the first
A
paragraph there.
Victorian accent?
Yeah, clutching my pearls accent.
Oh my, I know that's not mine. Those certainly aren't my stickers. There we go, yeah.
Sadly,
Mine's the one that says NWA.
Yes.
I picked the Ray shirt.
Nanas with attitude.
Nanas with attitudes is great, and then the Ray shirt is also funny. Sadly, she was not immediately converted to a Funbear based solely on Brad's skull.
They talk about jizz a lot. Come back.
I'm talking a wicked lot.
Yeah. I mean, so much that Fred Durst could drown in it.
I went to a coffee shop recently in Staten Island, and there was I ordered a coffee, and the girl at the counter, I was wearing a Funbearable shirt, the skull one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the girl at the counter said, "Hey," she's like, "Oh, I really like your shirt." I said, "Oh, that's my podcast." She's like, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, that's my friend Brad. He's not a skeleton in real life." And I was like, "Well, see ya." And that was it.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was
great.
good.
Yeah.
I'm skipping the emails about boy crimes to save
Yeah,
for
yeah, we gotta
future
save
boy
those,
crimes
for sure.
Good call,
episodes.
boy crime.
So we are on to November 26th. This is from Scott.
We're catching up.
We are
Yep.
almost in the current calendar year.
Wow.
It's from Scott.
Wow.
Gentlemen, first, thank you for resharing the first 2 Gibby specials.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
perfect to hear it again before today's episode.
Perfect.
Each of them are great in their own way. A big thank
Oh, what a parent answer.
Yeah.
You know, which kid's your favorite? I love them all in different little ways.
Fuck you, Mom.
I'll say when I worked at Walgreens, I worked at a store with 2, there were 3 assistant managers and 1 store manager. And we all have our pros and cons, and I had a lot of pros in that job, and the other 2 assistants had fewer pros. And I remember my boss saying,
Oh, I know one of your cons.
"Yep." I remember my boss saying,
Arrogance. Judgmentalism.
"Those 2 are exactly the same in completely different ways." And I thought, I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like,
That is fun, yeah.
Leave me a task, leave me a list of tasks to accomplish, before closing, and they're going to get done. The other guys aren't going to get it done, but for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Sorry. A big thank you to Brad for bringing some joy to a fellow Bears fan stuck in Illinois. I can listen again to Gibby on Thanksgiving when they're being slaughtered by the Lions. You guys are awesome. Keep up the great work. The Bears did lose that game on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know.
Really,
Just 'cause they're the Bears.
lot of problems with clock management. It's what got the coach fired.
Oh, that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
It's got to be clock management.
Natalie
It's gotta be
Natalie and
clock
I were trying to
management.
watch on my phone, and we're both like silently shrieking at the Staten family Thanksgiving of like, call timeout. Why aren't they calling timeout? Call timeout. Call timeout.
I gotta say, I am really proud of some of the traditions that we've kind of established. Like the idea that like, hey, once a year we're gonna make a rotating script about this character.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fucking real fun.
Sure,
I'm glad we all partake in this stuff. It's
Totally.
fun. It's great.
It's another.
Well,
I love
I
this
think
one.
we all have to. Otherwise, only one of us is guilty. You know what I mean? But if we all do it, it's fine.
I got 1/3 of the chair.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's my.
I
that's
just got a
one
little stroke. That's all. I can still walk.
That was the math I did in my head.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a boy crime from Aubrey, who was
Aubrey.
Ray's pal from
Yeah.
City Steam Brewery. So another boy crime. So we'll skip that.
Skip it.
Going to
we will get to it. We will
yes,
get to
we'll
it.
get to it in boy
we're
crimes.
saving it for a special boy crimes episode. This is
Don't say it that way. That's different.
Special boy
crimes.
Yeah, a special boy crime
Now
is
listen,
a different one.
That's
we
what
have
they're
some
about.
specific
That's like-
qualifications.
that's like-
it's a little uncomfortable.
it has to do a lot with stealing their helmets.
Yeah. All right, this email is from Raquel. It's from December 19th. Hey, guys. I started listening to the pod about 3 or so months ago, and I just wanted to send you all some appreciation. Smiley face. The past year has been pretty rough on my mental health for a couple of different reasons. I've been feeling very overwhelmed and discouraged, but Funbearable has been one of the few things that I've been able to count on at the end of the day to brighten my mood and make me smile, even when it feels like not much else will. Taskmaster has also been one of those things, so it's
Yeah.
always fun to hear you guys talk about it. Chuck said he's going to start watching Taskmaster.
Manzukis.
close.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've likely heard all of this before, but the 3 of you are incredibly funny, and your dynamic together is hilarious. You each bring such unique perspectives and senses of humor that complement each other really well. You guys also manage to make any topic super entertaining, even if I'm not very familiar with it. Also, as an introverted planiac who likes knowing things, enjoys journaling, tends to follow rules to a fault, and has an unfortunate amount of awkward social interactions, I just wanted to say, love you, Brad. Never change. Wishing you guys the best. I'm excited to keep listening to the podcast and supporting your future projects. Thanks for the hour's worth of laughter.
Oh, very nice.
From a future Brad wife.
Yeah.
Very nice of
Right?
Raquel.
No, that's great. I appreciate that
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah, sincerely. And sorry you're having some
Yeah, I hope things have
yuck times.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
hope things have improved. This was again in December.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Also,
She won the lottery.
yes.
Wow.
Also, big compliment to say, like, oh, when you guys talk about stuff I don't know about, you can still make it entertaining. I think it's cool because I think that all three of us can see when we bring things to the table that we're like, well, a lot of people probably don't know about this, so I
Yeah.
have to explain it in a way that gives you enough shorthand, doesn't bore you, and we can play with the idea.
Exactly.
And I think I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I don't understand this email.
Okay.
Subject line is Ray's Bean.
I know what that's from. I said raise.
Oh, that's from the holiday episode, right?
Yeah, it
Christmas
says
episode?
it says new T-shirt, maybe with Santa's turnoffs on the back to confuse people more. Also, as a young 40-year-old, don't understand old man Ray's anger over being as old as he is. I don't.
I know
remember the
exactly what he's
episode.
talking about.
Good.
We made jokes
yeah.
about you being old, and you're 40. You were 42 at the time.
41.
41 at the
41.
time. Yeah.
So he's saying 41's not old enough for you to be annoyed at being old. Number one.
Well, but then he says old man Ray.
That's
so I
what
think
he
he's
said,
talking
but he's
about
being
it. Yeah.
sarcastic,
Oh,
though.
yeah, sure. No, that's fine.
And then the bean thing.
You guys referred to it, the
I said
Santa letter,
you were
as my
flicking
bean.
your bean.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was great.
All right.
I'm open to the T-shirt. I need to see the design.
Yeah.
Well, we said the flicking his bean, and then we were writing a poem, so we continued to use bean
Yeah.
in a way that's less common. Maybe
Yeah,
what some
sure,
would say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Everyone thinks
Yeah.
of beans as the musical fruit, but they can be so much more.
Truly. It does make you two. That's all I'm saying. Guaranteed you'll two.
Yeah.
All right?
This is from Tara. It's
Put
from
that on the shirt.
it's from
Oh, you'll too.
Dece-
It's italics.
Yeah. But it's the pizza guy. It's the guy in the pizza box. You'll two.
December 28th. Hey guys, we just watched this year's Christmas special and we wanted to let you know you had us laughing our asses off. We especially love the Mystery Science Theater 3000 bit where you all watched that ridiculous Christmas movie and made hilarious commentary. Everything from the Christmas jammies to the green screen was golden. Great ideas, and we hope to see more of these bits on the podcast in the future. Take care, Tara and Mike.
Thank you very much, Tara and Mike.
I believe that's the couple that wrote in and said, "You guys have bridged." I think the wife said, "You guys have bridged my husband's love of horror movies and my love of comedy and dislike of horror movies into a place where we can watch like the Saw recaps, and enjoy them together for different reasons."
Or
and
she can
different
watch
angles.
the show and laugh, and her husband can be like, "Oh, chilling," right? Yeah,
Yeah.
chilling.
We are now in 2025, January 2nd.
Congratulations!
Yes.
Happy New Year.
It's from Lindsay. Hey guys, listening to the Funbammies and have to recommend the new Astrobot game for PS5. It's fantastic and so fun and charming and will make you want to 100% complete it, and I don't typically do that with games. Love the show. Thanks for the hours of entertainment. You have quickly become a podcast I will immediately listen to as soon as they drop.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Feels good.
I've heard good stuff about Astrobot.
I asked for it for Christmas, and normally I ask for like 2 games and 2 books, and that's kind of it from my parents. And my mom's like, "Yeah, I bought you Astrobot." I'm like, "No, you didn't." And she's like, "Well, what?" And she's like, "I'll buy it for." I'm like, "I don't need it, Mom. Like, it's no big deal." And I'm like, she's like, "Well, I want to make sure that you get the same amount as Brooke and Brent." I'm like, "Mom, I'm not 10. I don't need the same. Plus,
Brad, I just went to the store and I got you the game. And you said you wanted Gastronaut?
yes."
Is that what you wanted? Gastronaut? He farts.
Gastronauts is a show on Dropout. It's a cooking competition show on Dropout. Very fun. 1 episode is free on YouTube.
There you go.
But watch us first.
I haven't played the game. I would like to.
I've heard
it
great
looks
things.
fun. Yeah, it's like a platformer, super fun. If it were couch co-op, I would have gotten it so Finn and I could play it together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think it is. I think I looked when it was coming out and it was single player.
Yeah.
I will say, quick shout out to a 10 out of 10 game, especially for like a couch co-op situation, which is so rare. Split Fiction, the new game that just came out from Hazelight Studios. They made It Takes Two and A Way Out, and they're both like you got to work together games, and they're so perfect. And this game, the way it just like keeps changing over and over and over, and introduces new ways to play. It's super fun. It's challenging, right?
Yeah.
And really, really well done. So it's a rare thing when a game comes out by a publisher and they're like, no, we're not going to try and get more money out of you.
Yeah.
Like, this is the game. We made the game. You can play it.
Yeah.
You know?
I wrote it down when you told me about it.
It's really great.
That's awesome.
We're going to do 2 more emails.
Okay.
This one is from Lance. Hello, my favorite Funbears. My name is Lance. I live in Kansas, where everyone's favorite show is either Antiques Roadshow or Yellowstone, and most people share the views of Ray's Barber.
Oh.
I've been listening for over a year now after I heard about the show shortly after I discovered Tuesdays with stories. When I did discover the show, I started on whatever episode was current at the time. Then, much like I assume Chuck has, I discovered an itch I couldn't quite scratch. Nice. So I went back and played them all in order up to the current eps again. You guys are the highlight of my week. I really missed the 3-hour episodes where Chuck derails, Ray delights, and Brad snipes. While I understand those had to be hard, I really love how you guys have tightened things up lately and how much more input from Brad there is. Thanks for putting out a quality product. It really keeps me grounded while I work by myself all day. So like Brad salivating a Costco-sized ream of glizzies, I await the second half of the Fun Bammies.
Ream of glizzies is...
Happy New Year or Valentine's or St. Patrick's Day or Easter or 4th of July or whenever you pretty boys decide to crack your sack again. So thank you, Lance.
Thank you very much.
Rule. That's awesome,
Really
buddy.
do appreciate it, yeah.
And there are definitely some long episodes hovering right now. They might be out before this. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot.
Another boy crimes one. All right, last...
We recorded that 7-hour one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
That was bad.
Did you know that? So it's funny, Rupert, my buddy Rupert, he's been on the podcast a couple times, and we do Popcorn Kernels, our reviewing history and Funbearable crossover show. So he took the reviewing history guys to go do this board game episode, and the game was so dense and the instructions were so difficult that they did one episode of one game playthrough, and it took 7 hours. And he has no idea what to do with the footage and audio.
You just salute and go goodbye.
Yeah.
We tried a thing.
Yep.
Right.
I would put, if it was me, I'd put it out as a bonus with a hefty warning on it.
Yep.
That's what I would do.
7 hours.
I put it out as 7 bonuses with hefty warnings on all of them.
Oh, that's
all right.
rough.
This
I
one-
would have it played at my funeral.
Yes. and everyone's got to stay for the whole thing.
We are gathered here today. Boop. You press play. Yeah.
Now he said he was going to read the will at the end. So
If you're not, you must be present to get the will.
yeah.
It's from January 16th. It's our last email of this episode.
My birthday.
Wow.
Oh.
That's my birthday.
Oh, boy.
It's my birthday.
He
I don't know what
definitely
I'm saying.
acknowledged it in the email.
Oh no, they didn't wish me a happy birthday.
Hi, fun boys. Question
Hello.
for the whole group, but really specifically for Chuck. Was listening to the emo band Further Seems Forever on Spotify, and their most listened to song is actually a cover of NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye.
Oh, interesting.
If you're in a band and your most well-known song is a cover, does that have an impact on you/the band? Not counting cover bands in this, obviously. Someone like Further Seems Forever had a huge impact on indie/emo bands in the early 2000s. I can't help but think that Chris Carrabba, who is known for his lyrics, would hurt to know their songs are dwarfed by a cover. Or is any listening/eyes on your band better than nothing? Does this extend to something like writing or movies, to put it in Ray and Brad's realm? If you were the writer on a franchise reboot that did really well, does it feel like a less than because it wasn't yours originally? From Chad. And I figure that's a good discussion one to end on.
By the way, another way that it kind of can go to stand-up is, and I'm sure you've dealt with this, is the idea of like kind of just like bouncing stuff with people that you know are like either writers or comics, and they give you like a solid punch or a tag, and you do it, and it gets a huge thing, and you're just like, you know?
I don't know. I've never really felt like. No, I've never felt that. I'm trying to think.
I will say it's funny, there are a couple bands, and I'm sure there's way more than maybe you guys can think of, where their biggest song is a cover.
Yeah.
One of them, do you remember Alien Ant Farm?
Yeah.
Yes.
They did a cover of
Annie, are
Annie.
you okay?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
Smooth Criminal.
Smooth
Are you
Criminal.
okay, Annie?
Yep.
And the Ataris, Boys of Summer, I
Yep.
think probably is their biggest song.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would imagine you'd be bummed a little bit, but I think ultimately you probably...
I'll say because of the success of those songs, you've gotten so many more opportunities.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that if you're really doing a band professionally as like a career, and you're selling more tickets, and you're selling more albums, and you have more plays across the board,
Yeah.
I think that's probably so much more of a net positive that you don't focus on the fact that it's like that. And plus, like, a cover doesn't mean you're just like pressing play on the old song. There's a
Right.
lot to arrange and figure out.
I was going to compliment Chuck and Senior Discount on the cover of Girls Just Want to Have Fun because it is different.
Very
than
different.
the original. And also Three Little Birds, the way your cover of Three Little Birds builds because it's a
Yeah.
full band song. And both of them, and I know how much work you put into those versions of those songs. They are
Yeah.
covers. And, you know, I think one of the things, I think it was Chuck. Yeah, it was Chuck that said it. Like, when people are like scanning through the radio, you don't want to hear something you like. You want to hear something you know.
Yeah.
Because it's too hard to find something you like all the time.
Sure. Yeah.
And so if a cover gets you in the door,
That's
great.
kind of how I feel.
Great.
Sure. I remember back in the day, I bought an album because of a cover, and I hope I remember this correctly. Big Audio Dynamite.
Yeah.
What's that?
They did a cover of I can't remember the name of the
I
song, but it's they did a song. It was like a gangster rap song.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, Boys in the Hood.
was-
Thank you.
I thought it was
Big Audio
It was Dynamite Hack.
Dynamite Hack.
Yes.
That's
I knew
right.
it was Dynamite. I
Yes.
just couldn't remember. But yeah, Dynamite Hack. And I bought that album because of that song.
That was a really fun cover.
Yeah,
I
for
thought it was
sure.
fucking real fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Three Little Birds covers that we did. Senior Discount early on, we were like, we don't want to do covers of songs of bands that sound like us, and we don't want to do covers that sound like the song. We
Yeah.
only want to do stuff that's like a different thing.
Yeah.
And so we did Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Three Little Birds, and I'm really proud of both of those. They're
Yeah.
both on our album where we got signed. The Best Revenge is on Spotify and everything. And I am really proud of those to the point where it's like, even if those songs like became big or something, or it was a single, I don't even know if I'd feel weird about it. I'm like, well, we rearranged the songs. We came up with all these different harmonies and parts. We changed parts.
Yeah.
We kind of did stuff that was almost like against the original to do stuff. So there's still so much artistry there. It is weird though, because one time I saw a Rolling Stone article, and it was said that the most successful band from Rhode Island is Badfish, which is just a Sublime cover band
Yeah.
where they just sound exactly like Sublime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that feels a little bit more like we're not. I don't want to say anything
Yep.
shitty, but
Chuck, don't look behind you. Don't look behind you. Let's
And by
just
the
say
way-
there's a few not great aquarium dwellers behind you right now.
and Badfish has given us a ton of opportunities. We've played our biggest shows with Badfish.
Badfish hasn't helped me in the least, and I'll say it. No, I'm just kidding.
and, but I do think if you're in that situation,
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
So you never feel like you got a really important tag from someone or a punch that you felt weird about?
No,
But do you feel like you don't actually have anything that's like that?
I don't think I have anything that somebody was like, "Hey, can I give you this tag?" I sometimes offer things to people, but I'm
Yeah.
also very careful. Like, "Hey, I don't know if you want this.
I
Feel
know.
free. Don't whatever." But there's nothing where I'm like, "Oh, this person offered it to me. I tried it, and it really, really worked."
Right.
Genuinely, I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but it's I don't have it in stand up. Trying to come up with a parallel is really difficult because stand up is a thing where it's like, oh no, you can't cover a bit,
Right.
You know what I mean? If
Right.
you do
Yeah.
that, you're bad.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not good.
I did it with, of course, a Chris Rock bit.
Oh,
I worked with a guy, I won't say his name.
Okay.
And he was doing stand up and we were writing together for a long time. And he eventually told me, I don't want to write with you anymore. And he said the reason was because he's like, I don't feel proud of the stuff that I say that you came up with. He says it feels weird to me. And I said,
sure,
"Okay."
sure.
So
No, I could see that.
I could
yeah,
see
for
that,
sure.
yeah.
But yeah, especially in a writing scenario, that's different. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the closest would be like, I have a bit that's the cake bit, right?
Yeah.
The cake is a little gay. That whole fun thing that originated here.
Yeah.
But I don't feel weird about it because I brought that to the table, and I don't have anything in the bit that
came out of
that
our
you
mouths.
guys said.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, I brought this funny to the table. Let me go work on it over
Yeah.
here. That's different.
I also think it's a little bit interesting because we've all written stuff for so long.
Yeah.
So let's say you were talking to me about something and you're like, man, I'm trying to figure out like the step between this part and this part and what's the perfect dessert for this. Even if
Yeah.
we did talk and it came out together, that doesn't feel like it's me. It just feels like we bounced.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really
yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
It's a really difficult thing.
It'd have to
Yeah.
be like the person would have to give you the phrasing, the timing,
Yes.
and the conclusion,
Right.
Which is the most important thing.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It's weird. I think about improv is generally collaborative, and this past Thursday I did a duo set, so it's just two of us on stage, 25 minutes straight through, and I'm like, that was a really good set. And then I'm driving home and I'm thinking about it, and of course second guessing everything I said or did, and I'm like, oh, it wasn't a great set because of what I did. It was like Randy, my co-actor in this scene. I'm like, he did so much of the heavy lifting. I'm like, that was a Randy, and then I'm like, no, like we were up there together. It's
Yeah.
a
Yes.
victory for us.
Sure.
And I guess the closest I could come is a good set where I barely get on stage, which I've had.
Oh yeah.
But I think generally,
Yeah.
I know I was one. Sorry to whoever's mixing
Oh
this.
shit.
I've
Shit.
I've definitely moved away.
Oh no! Just like getting worse and worse. Oh god damn it! It finally happened! Fuck!
I've moved away. I've moved away from.
You see me leave? My car smashes through the wall. No!
Just gonna say I've moved away from like, oh, I wrote this joke, Chuck wrote that joke. I've moved away from that. But I used to be like, I'm not contributing any jokes to this script, and I still feel that way to an extent when we write our goofs for each other. When it's like, oh, Ray and Brad write Chuck's thing, and Chuck and Brad write Ray's thing, where. And then I'm like, but we ultimately we do it together. Like,
Yeah,
we're both there,
absolutely.
so.
Well, we're all fucking like around, hovering around 40, and we've been all doing this for so long.
Yeah.
That I think we all got to the logical place that every creative person gets to, which is if you're doing something with other people, find the best thing that wins, and you kind of lose the idea of like ownership over a lot of it. Like if we're coming up with sketch stuff together, if we're coming up with bit stuff together, we're writing stuff. When we walk away, a couple weeks later, if you show me what me and Ray wrote or what Brad and I wrote, like I can't point to different things and always just pick
but
stuff
then it
out.
also gets sloppy where it's like, okay, this joke. One of us clearly came up with this moment, this punchline. But does it need, and this is where comedy gets sloppy because it's creativity, right? It's a creative process. So it's like, well, then what about the step before that?
Exactly.
And then the step before that and the step before that. Like, oh, Chuck, if you hadn't brought up the Kentucky Fried Chicken, I never would have thought about the idea of a drive-through.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't have gotten to the ATM at the bank.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's that weird stuff.
That's exactly what I think.
How did
it
the
is.
punchline end up as Adlai Stevenson? Brad had
I was working with Brad.
Brad had
Yeah.
final cut.
And
By
it's
the way,
also-
those drive-throughs were all, that was a bit Chuck and I were working on about the worst places to ejaculate.
Yes. No, but
Oh, I'm sorry. Does Adlai Stevenson not make that list?
I don't know who that is.
He ran against
I feel
Eisenhower in
dumb.
the 50s.
But
No, I don't feel dumb anymore. I don't need to know that. That is a piece of information
Yeah, there you
simply
go.
does not need to exist in my brain. And I like history, but knowing who ran against the president at that time,
Yep.
I don't think is that vital.
Yeah. No,
Probably
it is.
not.
It is that thing though, where it's like
Who ran against Lincoln?
Hang on.
John Wilkes Booth.
Well, it would have been the incumbent. Polk? James K. Polk? Or Franklin
I
Pierce?
believe there were like 3 parties at that point, right?
Yeah.
The Whig Party was there. The
probably.
Whig Party was there. The Whigs were doing
no, it was Douglas. The Lincoln-Douglas debates.
Okay.
But I don't know if that was for president. That might have been for like senator from Illinois.
Sexiest man
Sexiest
of the
man
year.
alive. Yeah, of the
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sexiest
sexiest
beard.
man of late 1800s.
Yeah, that's because debating was considered so sexy at the time.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
Whoever the best debater is.
I was gonna say
Against that string bean? Are you kidding me? He wins.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it is a thing where it's like, well, what happens when Ray comes up with a bit and I come up with a punch that's a B+, and then Brad fixes the punch to be an A.
Yeah.
It's like, who's, you know what I mean? If we're working on
and
stuff.
then people go, man, Brad's a sniper. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Well, no, it is.
I
It is
sniped
that
the
thing where
credit
it's
for
like, it's like it's hard to feel like, oh, that wasn't me. It's like, no.
Right,
Everyone had a piece of this.
No, this is a communal pool, man.
Yeah,
we can all.
exactly.
Yeah,
Ew,
I'll say
ew.
most-
I just thought of us doing a podcast in a communal pool.
Most,
Oh, yeah.
I'll say
Hot tub.
most of the stuff from Funbearable, I'm very happy to co-sign as that's all of us. Some of the stuff I'm going to wash my hands of.
Sure.
I'm going to get out of the communal pool and take
Yeah,
a shower
absolutely.
and turn around and scream.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Dr. McFrankenstein.
I understand. I understand these
And for
things.
me, it's the Lincoln Polk debate.
When there was, when someone's speaking into a burrito,
Yeah.
it tends to make me want to go to the parking lot
Yeah.
of wherever that hot tub is and be like, no, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you from here.
That's a good idea, Ray. The burrito also has an amplifier. And you're like, oh, God, no. Co-writer credit, Ray Harrington.
That's fun.
But we're doing all right on email. Still a couple months out, but
We'll get there.
but
Yeah, we will.
Bird by bird.
Yeah, man.
We will get there.
Yeah, if you want to send us an email, funbearablepod@gmail.com, or send us something through. We have a link tree set up, I think, on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
just funbearablepod.com. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
If you want to send us something physical, like just write like Funbearable, Rhode Island, and see what happens. See if it gets there.
Don't do that.
Who knows?
It won't. It won't at all.
You never know.
It's not how the U.S. Postal Service works, and it's going to work less effectively going forward.
Oh,
so.
there's going to be a woman named like Fran Dearble.
Yes.
That's going to get that and go, I didn't. What? Why are there so many Ninja
Jizz.
Turtles in this
I was
box?
going to say, why are there 3 auto blows? Well, 2 auto blows and 1 auto blow junior.
What is this make your own hot dog necklace? What is this?
It's wearing a propeller beanie.
An Auto Blow Junior? Oh no!
As soon as I said it, I'm like, nope.
Yeah, that's rough stuff.
It's like
I can't wash my hands of
I
that
gotta
one.
go to the parking lot. I'll be back. I gotta go.
Hey, cosigns, auto blow junior. Yeah, I hate that idea. I wish
By
I
the
hadn't
way,
said it.
What about the guy that? What about we did the episode recently called Auto Boil? It was about the guy that boiled skulls. He invented the auto blow, and he commented on the video. He invented the auto blow. Love what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to respond to this.
I think you should have written back like, I love what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Everything.
This guy knows dome.
In parentheses, not the skull thing.
Thank you all so much for joining with us on this mail sack episode. We appreciate it so much. For Ray Harrington and Chuck Staten, I'm Brad Rohr saying thank you so much, and we're sorry for being Funbearable.
You know, there's like blowjob, like euphemisms.
I really gotta get to that parking lot. I gotta get to the what? Oh, hold on. I gotta move my car. I gotta go move my car. Yeah.
I really boiled her skull. How about that? That's pretty good. Or she boiled my skull.
But it doesn't make sense.
The skull makes sense.
I gotta go.
Skull, yes, but boiling. Oh, now I'm in. Now I'm into the conversation.
I gotta go move Ray's car.
Careful, there's some boxes in the back. If you rattle them, they sound like skulls.